I'm kind of a big deal.
So, hey, we're the Brew Crew. We're here today at Geary's with, what was your name again, good sir?
Peter.
Peter. See, I almost said Pete, but I wanted to be sure, so that's why.
Only Pete.
All right, well, we're here with Pete/Peter, who is the head brewer.
I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we just did a little tour. We're going through some of the flavors here, and let's start off with the porter, obviously the London Porter. So what do you put into this beer here? That might be a little different than.
Well, the porter is a traditional English style, has English base malt and some chocolate and some black malt to give it its kind of roasty character. And a little bit of crystal to round it out and give it some sweetness.
Pretty damn delicious. What do you think, Mike?
Let's try it out. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. And we got Mike and Lynn here from GA Gear, Brew Teas.
Neighbors.
Who are just right down the road and are also our lovely sponsors of this wonderful podcast. So you should head over to brewteas.com and check out some of their amazing wares. Because it's great for the beer enthusiast. If you like beer, you'll want to wear it. So, and what did you select there, Mike?
I got the, is it the summer sessions or is it just sessions?
That is the Fresh in Session IPA.
Fresh in Session. This is refreshing.
It's exactly what
It's crisp. This is like floating down the river kind of beer for me. Like that summery kind of beer that I like. Gonna have a little bit lighter. Like the porter is more like I'm going to be at the bar for a few hours. I order a couple stouts or a few porters. This is more chugging on the river, mow the grass. But whatever you guys recommend to drink it.
So what do you put into the Fresh in Session, whatever's Fresh in Session?
The Fresh in Session, it's very simple, light body beer, mostly pale malt, just to keep it simple so it can kind of highlight the hops. So it's a blend of Mosaic hops, Bravo, a little bit of Nugget.
Nice. Mind if I get a little?
Of course.
Wonderful.
We're at the source, so you can have your own blends.
Yeah, but the more I drink, if I keep piling on top of, then, I'm driving home and you never know when you're going to get pulled over, folks. So even if you think, because, hey, I'm someone who can drink and operate things, but it's never a good idea to drink and drive. So.
Let's operate the Uber app on my phone.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only thing you should be operating, and certainly not Tinder.
Well, it's like anybody that's around Portland right now has the option to Uber right here for the tasting room, and they can Uber right home and not even have to. Or a part of the brew tours, the brew bus comes right by.
Yeah, we have the brew bus come in, several times a week, sometimes multiple times a day.
Having that kind of service here in town, you can't beat it. There's always a ride to the bar.
And what's the address, if you know it offhand?
It's 38 Evergreen Drive.
Right off of Riverside Street there, super easy to get to. They got a nice little parking lot here, and I'll even do you one better. I'm going to show you the lovely outdoor area that they have. You can even play cornhole. Because everybody's got a cornhole now. I don't know if people have noticed this, but cornhole's like the new drinking game.
Well, you're not supposed to have drinking games in a tasting room, you know that.
Not in a tasting room, outside the tasting room. All right, so Lynn, what did you?
Selected the Esther, which apparently is a session as well.
Sessionable.
Sessionable.
Yeah, it's a German rye, so it's got a lot of esters going on, kind of that banana clove character, and it's about 50% rye, so it has a lot of that kind of pepperiness that the rye will give you.
It's really delicious.
That is really good.
And coming in at 5.5%, it's not quite a session, but it's light and easy to drink, so you might think it is.
So, tell me what a session is. What defines a session?
Ooh. Well, it depends who you talk to. So if you're talking to me, it's something under 5%. It's easy to drink. You can enjoy it and enjoy several more.
All right. So then what's the next class up from a session? A fucking good beer.
Right. It just starts with a beer from there.
You know, just trying to figure out what all the labels are
Well, there
here.
are too many labels to keep track of. I just make beer that I like to drink. You know?
See, that's a good philosophy to go about it with.
Because I like pretty much all styles.
What would you say your absolute favorite? If you could only have one beer for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
That's not a fair question.
Of course it's a fair question. I'm asking it.
Wow.
Well, this doesn't have to be for the rest of your life,
All right,
like
well,
the biggest
lately-
decision.
lately
you
I've
made.
rest of
been-
your life.
Like
I have been on a Kolsch kick lately.
a
So,
Kolsch kick?
Yeah, so our next beer coming out is a Kolsch.
Mm.
And I'm very happy with the way it turned out.
So when will that be hitting shelves here?
We are going to release it at the Summer Session Brew Fest next weekend.
That's coming up next weekend. Woo! So I'm sure Brew Tees will hopefully be there, right? Selling wares with a little...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So how often do you guys come up with new flavors? Like how often is a season of beer, if you will?
Well, it's strangely worded.
Put it in a word that you would
okay.
like it.
Seasonal beers usually have about a 4-month window.
Right.
We're constantly trying to come up with things that we like, things to give people in the tasting room. So I'll do a new beer, usually 2, sometimes 3 times a month.
Nice. So what do you usually have? Like how many? Obviously, you always got your IPA going. How many beers do you have that are just constant staples versus ones that you switch out?
We have, not counting the seasonals, we have, the pale, the red, the Hampshire, and the porter. Those are
Yep.
the staples of this place. And then we have the seasonals that rotate summer, autumn, winter.
Right.
And, we're working on just new beers to bring into that cycle. Maybe year round, with the session, maybe.
Yep.
Because right now, session was just a one-off.
Mm.
And we might just be a brewery that does a lot of one-offs. That's
Yep.
the other option.
Cool. So last but not least here on our little flavor palette of the day, we have the red. So tell me a little bit about the red ale.
The red is a nice malty Irish style red. It has a lot of caramel flavors in it.
You can always tell when something's Irish because I immediately connect with it.
The hops are very English, so it has that earthy hoppiness to it, but it's more balanced towards the sweetness.
Mhm.
So you get that malt, full-bodied malt flavor with just enough hops to balance it out, so it's
Yep.
not sickly sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
It's delicious.
Right?
I don't believe I had a Geary's Red. I'm a Hampshire style guy. At certain places I go to, I always just HSA. It's second nature in certain places. That I got one there the first time I went there. Old Port Tavern would be one example there. You don't see it in every single place in town on draft, and they have it there. So I always get it. I don't know. I'm the only one that ever gets it, and then everybody else like, "What you got there?" I'm like, "Hampshire's guy." And then before you know it, everybody at my table is getting one. And hopefully they remember to get them at home. I always have them at home. People are like, "What are these?" And I'm like, "Where have you been?" Because everybody recognizes the pale ale from a mile away.
Yeah.
They might not recognize that label. Try it out.
All right.
It's warm. It has that full-bodied flavor to it.
Yeah.
Like the right sweet to it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's a good breakfast beer right there.
And it's not like immediately sweet either. It like takes a second and just kind of settles on you. It's really nice. So.
That's gonna be Sunday breakfast.
Yeah, right.
With the right kind of maple syrup in it. Maybe some sauce.
I would say if you can pair your beer with a side of bacon and have that match, then you've figured out life, the essence of happiness, right there.
So I have to
that-
find the proper beer to go with bacon.
Yeah. That's the
All beer
challenge.
goes with bacon.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, unless it's a bad beer, it probably will go with bacon. So
We missed out on our ghost pepper smoked porter.
that's what I
Ooh.
heard. I heard that there were even people being like, coming over just for that. Like, hey, where's the ghost pepper? I'm sorry, not. All right, see you later.
Yeah, we poured the last of it next door at the Allagash Street Fair.
Oh yeah.
People either loved it or hated it.
Huh.
And people that loved it enjoyed 3 kegs of it there. So
Do you think it'll make a repeat
it might
appearance?
make a comeback. We'll see about that. That
Yeah.
might be a winter beer.
Yeah.
Warm people up in
Yep.
January.
And something that pairs well with a nice spicy taco, maybe.
Or Sunday River. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
like.
You come
After hitting the
coming
mountain
off
all
the
day,
slopes, you
a
need
ghost
something
pepper
to
sounds
just,
great.
like, right to the face. It's gonna heat you right up. Ghost pepper. To the face. Well, Pete/Peter, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of history and background on these delicious beers. So, if you haven't heard of Geary's, then you've been living under a rock, especially if you're in the Maine market, and if it's within your reach, you should definitely reach for some and drink it, because it's delicious. So, that's what we have today for the Brew Crew. We'll catch you guys next time.